welcome to the Everyone Hates Car Salesman podcast. My name is. Don't interrupt me.
Welcome.
Don't. Hi, Sean.
That's what they want to hear.
Why don't you say hello? Say hello. Everybody wants to hear you. Say hello.
Hi, my name's Sean. That's my friend and partner, Ina.
Hi, that's me.
What up?
What up? So this is kind of new for people who have been listening to the podcast to kind of hear my voice over here. So yeah, you're gonna see me. Like I like my role in here. I'm kind of putting in the questions in the interview, kind of moderating everything. But like I just let the goat be the goat. Like
You're mothering.
no, don't you dare put
You're
me in that
mothering.
box. No.
You're mothering. No, you do
Yeah.
fine. You keep me in line. You keep me together. It's amazing how good you are at it, actually.
Nobody can tame you. You're like the goat.
No, but you know what? I will tell you this though. You know what I like about this podcast is that it's a challenge for me because I have so many things that I want to spit out and just blurt out, but I can't. Like, because I don't want to get kicked off the internet. You know what I mean? So like, there's so many things that come into my head, and I'm like, da, 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 and then I'm like, you can't say that. You know what I mean?
But I feel like this is the space to do that. Like these intros, like I want people to like see the real goat. You know?
Yeah.
Like
No, I get it. No, you're right. You're right. Right. I just, if I said what was really going on in here, I mean, I don't want to go to jail.
I mean,
I mean,
I don't necessarily want you to spit those things out when we're on a call with the CEO of the NIADA.
I almost did.
Right? Like no,
Yeah.
like that's what this space is for. You gotta save it all for the intro.
Yeah, no,
Save
I
it.
tamed it down a little bit, but no, yeah, Jeff is awesome. I mean, he's an amazing leader. He's an amazing culture creator within his association for sure, but even internally, but members wise, you can tell that he just fosters a culture of community and empathy and intelligent strategic thinking. I mean, he's just an impressive guy.
Yeah, no, and he's just such a nice guy. Like that's the first thing
And
that I
he's
know.
really nice. Yeah.
He's just like a nice guy, like somebody you can talk to, somebody you can just like say anything to, and he's just gonna roll with it, right?
Yeah.
So we are interviewing like right here on the podcast Jeff Martin from the NIADA. He's the CEO of the NIADA, and the most exciting thing that is happening next month is their conference in Vegas, to which
Vegas, baby.
we are going.
Yeah, we're
You're
going.
gonna be there.
We're going.
We're going. So everybody,
we're going.
You know, people are just gonna come and see me, right? Like just see, like match the accent to the face.
I would come and see you if I heard that accent. I'd be like, "Where's that girl?"
Exactly. If anybody goes, but no, I know my role in this situation. You are the celebrity here. You are the one that people want to see.
I don't know. All I know is that everybody that we've met and came in contact with so far offers you a job.
That kind of did happen. Right?
That's a thing. That's a thing. Yeah.
That can happen. No, everybody wants to see the goat. So here's what we have prepared for everybody who's coming to the NIADA convention and expo. It's happening June 23rd to the 26th in Las Vegas at the Fontainebleau Hotel. We are going to be there. We're going to be there in the exhibit hall. We have a booth set up where we're going to be recording a live podcast. And anybody who comes up to us, we can record content with you so you can put it on your account, draw eyeballs because the goat is right there with you. So I just suggest, first of all, I'm very excited about this, but I just suggest that if you are going to the conference, stop by our booth as early as possible because we do expect there to be a line out the door of people wanting to create content with the goat. So come early.
Yeah.
Right?
Seriously? You did it again.
Seriously?
You did it again.
Seriously?
You did it again. Yeah.
That's what she said. Okay. Yeah.
No, that's not what she said. That is not what she said.
That is the opposite of what she said.
Yeah, that's not what she said.
I am just saying, we're going to an NIADA conference. Everybody should join us there. The links are below. If you actually go to goatforreal216.com/NIADA, that will take you straight to the registration page. And if you make it there, stop by our booth, record content with us, come, and maybe you'll even be featured on the podcast. We're going to be there ready to be recording a podcast live. We're going to have way more information about all the things we're going to be doing in our booth through our social media accounts. So make sure that you're following Goat for Real Media on TikTok and on Instagram. That's where we're going to be putting all of that information.
It's going to get crazy. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm scared. It's going to get nuts.
It's going to be amazing.
It could get crazy.
And I can't wait to go to Vegas. It's been a while.
Yeah, Vegas. Yeah, we're doing it, and I'm super stoked about it. So I can't wait. And yeah, let's talk to Jeff.
All right, let's go to our interview. That's it. Let's start the podcast.
Here we come, Jeff.
Let's go.
I'd like to take a minute to thank our sponsor, Sky Blue Credit Repair. Sky Blue is the oldest credit repair company in the country. They have 4.5-star reviews, and my favorite part about the company is that these are just genuinely good people who want to help you repair your credit, have a better financial life and future. Everybody at Sky Blue that you talk to is absolutely interested in helping you repair your credit, see your score go up, and have you enjoy financial freedom and be able to live the life that you really deserve. I know about all of the other credit repair companies. Sky Blue Credit Repair, in my opinion, is the #1 credit repair company in the country. There are not better people in that industry than the people over at Sky Blue Credit. Links in the bio. Tell them the GOAT sent you.
Hello, everybody. Today we have a sweet treat for everyone. We have Jeff Martin from the NIADA, and there is a big conference and expo happening next month. So we want to hear all of the details. But first, Jeff, how are you? Thank you so much for being here.
I'm doing fantastic, Ina. Thank you for having me. Certainly looking forward to the convention next month out in Las Vegas.
Man.
We are looking forward to. Sean, say hi to everyone.
Hi, everybody. I am. Hey, Jeff. I'll be honest with you. I'm not much of a convention guy. I have not been historically, but I don't know that. I've been so excited about an event as I am literally about this. I mean, I am super stoked about it. Everybody that I talk to is like, "Oh my gosh, it's the best convention. You're going to have so much fun." And I'm like, "All right." And then as more people say it, I'm like, "Sounds like it's going to be fire. Sounds like it's going to be a blast."
Yeah, we're looking forward to it. Well, hopefully we're going to sway you over. And after this convention, this will be one you're never going to want to miss. But if you're in the automotive space and you just enjoy talking about whether it's automobiles, the automobile industry, whether you're a manager, you're an owner, the networking, the education that we have, this is a really, really exciting convention and a great opportunity.
And this is going to be my first automotive convention. I've been to many conventions over the years. So this is my first time actually going and being an exhibitor and having a booth in there. I am really having so much fun with it. So, but before we start and get talking about all of that, can you share with everybody, how did you end up here? How did you become the man in charge at the NIADA?
Well,
and for everybody, obviously, everybody knows it's the National Independent Auto Dealers Association. So how did you get here?
Yeah, well, it's kind of an interesting path. I spent about 18 years with the Texas Independent Automobile Dealers Association. So if you think about the National Association, we have state affiliates who really do a lot of the heavy lifting and a lot of the work, where there's a two-tiered system. So if you belong to your state affiliate or your state association, you automatically belong to NIADA. So I spent about 18 years representing dealers in Texas. It was an opportunity of a lifetime for me. And then just 2 years ago, NIADA reached out. They were looking for a new CEO. And so I had some conversations with some board members, and I was fortunate enough that they asked me to take this position. And so here I am today.
Yeah. It's who you know, right? It's who you know, not what you know. I mean,
right.
It is, right?
Sure.
And that's something we didn't realize before. Like, if you're a member of the state associations, you're automatically also a member of the national one. Is that correct?
Right. If the state association is affiliated with NIADA, and we have 32 state affiliates. But yes, that's the way that works. You're automatically a member of NIADA. So the states collect the dues, and then the states remit a portion of those dues to NIADA to make you a member.
What are some of the benefits that people get out of being a member? Why would anybody join it?
Yeah, look, the number one reason that you should belong to your association is because of the advocacy, the efforts that we put forth in Washington, D.C., protecting the interest of the industry, certainly advocating on behalf of legislation that we think will positively impact the industry and protecting the industry. You know, this is a very, very heavily regulated industry at the federal level with the FTC, the CFPB, even the IRS. That's the primary reason that you should belong to your association. Certainly, there are some benefits outside of that. One of them is the convention that we were just talking about earlier. Members of the association are able to receive about a $400 discount from attending. And then we have, a plethora of benefits outside of that, whether they be, the NIADA credit card. We have discount programs with some of our vendors like AutoZone. And so, the kind of traditional benefits and discounts that you receive from being a member of the association. But the primary reason is that advocacy, an association that helps the dealers stay compliant. We send out a monthly magazine. We send an email once a week, and our magazine and our emails are really geared toward helping our dealers stay compliant, helping our dealers stay on top of some of the best practices in the industry.
Jeff, I'm confused because I think that what you just said is that car dealers can occasionally need help being compliant.
It doesn't hurt to get a reminder.
My volume, is that a thing? Is that a thing?
Yeah, well, so it doesn't hurt to get a reminder every now and then.
A reminder.
But I'll also say this, Sean, it's a pretty complex industry, and so while, we always say, like, just kind of do the right thing, take care of your customer, and everything kind of takes care of itself. But there can be a lot of complexity, and sometimes legislation is introduced, and the unintended consequences of legislation typically is what ends up hurting really any industry. And so our responsibility is to make sure that whenever that legislation is introduced, whenever rules are introduced, that we're vetting that legislation, we're vetting those rules so that there aren't unintended consequences that end up having a negative impact on the industry.
Yeah, and being a guy who's been in stores, running stores, owned a few stores, I can tell you this with the compliance thing, where an association like yours is truly invaluable, is because, especially in the independent space, right? I try to paint the picture. There's a guy who owns a car lot, and that's how he, generates income for his family and his livelihood. And really, all that guy cares about when he wakes up every single morning is, how do I make the next car go over the curb? And things like compliance and just the details and the I's and T's can get lost in the scrum. And to have somebody like yourself in the association having your back, it really does give you peace of mind. I mean, it's the money that you have to spend to join your association is minuscule in your state association, and then indirectly yours is minuscule compared to the peace of mind. I mean, as a dealer, I can tell you that.
Yeah, no, I mean, obviously, I would echo that. Whether you are, whether there's an issue going on at the state level or at the federal level, and you mentioned earlier, Sean, you want to sell more cars. That's what we want you thinking about. That's what we want you doing. Like take that compliance side and make sure that your state association and your national association is focused on that. At the end of the day, that's how it should work, right? And as well as this kind of goes without saying, but unity creates a much stronger voice. And so if you want to go have a conversation with your legislator or your congressman or congresswoman, that's one voice out there. But if we band together and we've got over 13,000 dealers that are saying the same thing, it's going to get a lot more attention. And so, that's just part of the value of being a part of an association, is that you get a lot of unity and that voice becomes a lot stronger.
And I'm wondering, are you at liberty to share what is the biggest fight being fought in Washington right now that you guys are in the forefront fighting for the dealers?
Yeah, sure, we're at liberty to say this. So we feel like in the last couple of years that there are two federal agencies that oversee our industry, the FTC and the CFPB, and we feel like there's been a little bit of over-regulation with those two industries. So the biggest fight for us is to make sure that we can kind of rein in some of that regulation, but it's not necessarily like we're not opposed to regulation. Regulation is a good thing, but we always talk about having good, smart regulation that creates a level playing field for the industry, is good for the consumers, and it's good for the dealer. And so for us right now, Ina, it's more about making sure that the FTC and the CFPB are educated on how their decisions impact the industry and ultimately how their decisions impact consumers. And so the example I will use is, legislators a lot of times, or I should say regulators, a lot of times will talk about, more disclosure. And we're certainly not opposed to disclosure. We advocate for and encourage our dealers to make sure that they're clearly and transparently disclosing to the consumer. But when you start regulating that, sometimes what ends up happening is you'll start saying we have to prove that you have some form of disclosure, whether it's a piece of paper or it's a recorded document or whatever, or a recording. And once you start creating more and more cost and expense for that dealer, well, then that's passed on to the consumer. And so it ends up being a negative or an unintended consequence where, it makes automobiles more expensive. And so part of that is our responsibility to make sure that we're educating those agencies so that they understand what that impact has on not only the dealer, but also on the consumer.
Got it. So if I'm understanding it correctly, there is a rule that says, hey, you need to provide disclosures. But now there's additional regulation saying now you have to prove to me that you did, and you have to keep track of those records, and you have to add all of this overhead. And they're like, wait a minute, you already gave me the rule. I can follow the rule, but now you're just getting into the nitty-gritty of how I'm going to do it, and that is just adding more cost to the operation.
You're hired.
Yeah. She's great. I mean, listen, I'll split her up. We can share the cost if you want to. We'll figure it out later.
You
and I'll tell you, to Ina's point though, that's a great point. But and here's the thing, and again, look, we're not asking anybody for sympathy. Any of these agencies to take it easy or have any leniency, but sometimes I think that they forget, Jeff. We're not dealing with, and there are intellectually stimulating independent dealers, very smart guys. But we are not by nature dealing with the type of guys that are used to pushing those pencils and that red tape and all that stuff and having the patience or wherewithal to follow through. Again, most great independent car dealers by nature are just great car guys. And they're, they got that little bit of a gunslinger mentality. And I don't mean that they cross lines. I mean that they're juggling 20 things. And then you have this regulation that you're like, oh my gosh, I got to remember that I got to do this, that, and the other. And again, most of these guys, I would say, Jeff, you can give me the percentage. Most of these guys are small shops, maybe selling, I don't know, 25 to 45 cars a month, just trying to feed their family and eke out a living. And they run lean. Staff wise, these guys run lean. Independents run lean. I mean, a girl like Ina would have 19 jobs in an independent place.
That's right.
Right. So I think that's a little bit of a challenge for some of the guys. They're just not used to that type of, kind of corporate-y type thing, I guess. They're used to, going to the auction, grabbing a coffee on the way back to the shop, slinging a car, and you know what I mean? So again, I can't really overemphasize the importance of having the association behind it. So
no, I appreciate it. And I think all those that's all well said, and also it's a really resilient group. The word independent means something with our dealers, right? They're all the things that you said, they're providing for their families, but they're also they're very integrated in their communities.
Yes.
They're very actively involved in the social side of making sure that they're a part of the fabric of the community, and that's kind of who they are and what they want to be. And you talked about one person wearing a lot of hats. I mean, this as well as anybody. Owners of independent automobile dealerships, they wear a ton of hats. And you're right. Very rarely does anybody get into any business and says, man, what I really want to get in this business for is to kind of understand the red tape. I mean, it's a part of it, and they do a fantastic job at it. Particularly when it comes to being transparent and taking care of your members. But it's not the reason someone got into the job, got into the business, right? They got into the business because they enjoyed cars, or they wanted to sell cars, or they wanted to be in business for themselves, whatever the case may be. And that's the thing they really want to focus on. So at the end of the day, your association, part of our responsibility is to try to help you understand the compliance, and then ultimately help you stay compliant. And education is really the key to all of that.
Speaking of compliance, I'm really curious. What is one thing that you see most dealers like forgetting this piece about compliance, that if they just remember to just put that in their process, life would be so much easier. Like, what is that reminder you want to give them right now?
Jeff, can I
Sean is
think
raising his hand. Yes, Sean.
I'm gonna give you one that I know is a deal. FTC stickers on your cars. I mean,
as is stickers.
as is stickers on your cars. You can walk into any ENA, you can walk into any car lot in America right now, and there will be cars out there that are being repped for retail sales, and they don't have the correct stickers on the windows. Jeff, am I wrong?
That there could be a car or two that may be missing a sticker or two.
Right. Yeah, it's crazy. But go ahead. What's your opinion? On
Well,
that?
I think that's a good one, and that's an FTC rule. And I'll say, many times what ends up happening is, you get a shipment of cars in, and before that vehicle is to be made like frontline ready or put in line for a retail sale, it just came off of the trailer, and maybe it hasn't gone through the process. Well, consumers, if they're at your lot and they see a vehicle that just came off of the trailer, they may be interested in that particular vehicle. Well,
Yeah,
if we haven't done a good job with our at the dealership, making sure that salesperson knows that vehicle is not ready for sale, consumers don't understand. But they just see that these vehicles just got off the trailer. And, if your setup is not such where vehicles can be dropped off at a different location, they're really in these smaller dealerships that you were talking about earlier, Sean. If you're selling, 30 to 40 cars a month, those cars are being dropped off in front of your dealership. And so that's one of those that, I kind of call that gotcha government. Look, most of the auditors and the examiners, if they see something like that, they're gonna understand. But that's an easy one to kind of let that slip through the cracks, because it's on the lot, but it may not be ready for retail just yet.
Yeah,
that's a good example.
Yeah,
got it. So now everybody knows. So thinking more a little bit of futuristic, what is something that you are seeing that most independent dealers aren't really talking about, but you feel like they should be, like it's time?
Wow, that's interesting. I don't know that there's something that they're not talking about, but I will tell you something that is we're hearing a lot more of this is artificial intelligence. How can our dealers use artificial intelligence, and in what areas in their dealership? And I think that we're finding it can touch a lot of different areas, right? And I know a lot of people are. I mean, we're the same way at the association. We're learning more and more about AI. So I think that's going to be a lot of the future for our industry, is figuring out, like, we're really data driven in our industry. And so I think understanding like how we can use that data to be more efficient, to be more productive. To me, I think you're going to see a lot of that in the future. Is more and more of the AI trickling into our industry, and our dealers finding. And I mentioned earlier, they're an unbelievably resilient group. It's a very intelligent group of business owners, and they will find ways to use these new softwares, this new product, to be more efficient and more productive.
Jeff, I made my AI avatar yesterday.
Oh, I saw this. It is so. I don't know what I feel about it yet. I don't know.
Jeff, I'm gonna make you an AI avatar.
Oh,
I am telling you, Ina. Now, Ina has an extensive computer digital background, so she, after a minute, was able to pick up on it. But my closest friend is my younger sister, my little sister. She's my bestie. So I went and met her at the park yesterday. We're walking through the park, and I said, "Hey, do me a favor. I just did this video." I said, "Will you tell me if do I sound and look all right? Like, I just feel like something's off, My sister watched this video 3 times and was like, "No." And I go, "It's not me. That's AI." She's like, "Oh my God," like mind blown. And so you're right. I mean, that is coming fast and hard. I agree.
And I'm really curious. Like, what are these conversations? Because I know that at the conference, at the expo, there's going to be a lot of talk about AI, on stage in breakout rooms. And I'm really curious, like, when we're talking about AI in automotive, especially for independent dealers, what are we talking about, right? When I say AI, some people think exactly what Sean just said. Hey, creating your avatar and like duplicating yourself online, right? Some people think, oh, ChatGPT, I've been using that a lot. So what are some of the tools or functionalities about AI that independent dealers could be using?
I wish I knew the answer to that question. I think you're going to have to come to the convention to find out. We have that was a nice lead in there. I think we have like 7 different sessions this year that are focused on AI. But I'll tell you some of the dealers that I see they're using AI right now to help with their underwriting. And the AI can basically get better and better and better at underwriting. We have dealers out there that are using AI to help with their training. We had talked earlier about some of the compliance training. There's a lot of training that is available to members out there or to dealers out there. And I think we're starting to see dealers find ways to use that information. And also, you had mentioned the chat GTP. Having that connection with your customer is really important. And for a lot of our dealers, maybe they don't use, maybe they're not very proficient in writing blogs, or they know a lot about maintaining vehicles, but maybe they're just not a very proficient writer. So they can use chat GTP to help in communicating with their customers sometimes, and keeping their customer engaged even after the sale of a vehicle. And AI has certainly played a role and is playing a role for a lot of our dealers in that area.
I can totally see that happening. I actually was doing the marketing for a company that services and upgrades Vanderhall motorcycles. I don't know if you're familiar with these, like really unique style motorcycles. And one thing that we did, yes. So one thing that we did for them was they just gave us all of their knowledge about Vanderhalls. Like this guy, Troy Stepp, he's a guru on Vanderhalls, and he just wrote like a manifesto on like, this is how you take care of your thing. We took that, ran it through ChatGPT, and created 10 different blog posts on how to do this. And now his brand can be expanded online just by having this content, just hitting Vanderhall and his store and his name and everything associated with it, just by him just giving me everything. And then now content exists. So I mean, the functionality is just like insane. I can't wait to see what they talk about at the conference. Which kind of,
and Ina, I would say this too. Like, to me, like, that's the tip of the iceberg. That is really the tip of the iceberg when you're talking about using, chat GTP or AI to write a blog. I mean, it's because I think for our guys, when it gets into, using this for analytics to help them probably be a little bit more successful in looking at their own numbers, I think that's where you'll really start to see it explode in our industry.
Yeah. Sorry, I wanted to know more about the conference. Sorry, Sean, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
That's okay. No, I was getting, well, so I had a question, Jeff. So, you have, there's a lot of, we got the N, the I, the A, the A. I mean, we got a lot of letters, but your letters are pretty impressive. CEO. But I would like to know, I want to know this personally. What does that mean as far as what do you like every day? Like, I mean, when you wake up in the morning, what are the 3 things that are okay, as CEO of this big association, I have to, I mean, is it 90 things, or do you have 3 or 4 core things that you focus on every single day? How does that look?
Wow, that's a great question. So I think probably the thing, let me start by saying we have a fantastic team here at the association. And so while our responsibility is to govern the our responsibility is to manage the association, we have leaders within the association, and we will have elected officers. This is all going to happen at the convention, where we'll have 12 board members who are elected by the members of the association, and their responsibility is to govern the association. So when I wake up in the morning, I would say number one, does our team have the resources that they need to be successful? But also, do the leaders of our association, do they have the information that we need to be providing to them, the transparency about what we're doing internally with the association, so that they can fulfill their role and help govern and lead the association, into the future of whatever that looks like. So I would say really those are the 2 primary responsibilities I have. You've got committees and boards who are going to be focused on the 5-year strategy of the association. I need to make sure that I understand that and that I impart that to our team internally so that we can fulfill whatever that goal or that mission is. We've obviously talked a lot about the compliance and regulatory environment,
Yeah.
things of that nature. And that's a lot of times we have to kind of make sure we're connecting that. Are we making sure we're listening to our members? That's our
Yeah.
number one responsibility. And are we able to, accomplish what it is that they're asking us to do for them? And for me, I tell our team all the time, the three things that I think are the most important are, accountability. We have to be accountable to ourselves. We have to be accountable to the members of our association, our board. We have to be accountable to our team internally. I think confidence is really important, to say we're going to move forward. And sometimes it's confidence to try something new, and a lot of confidence to say that didn't work and we're going to try something else. And then the third thing for me is empathy. And if you have those three things, you're probably gonna do okay.
Yeah, I agree.
I love it. So, what is the 5-year strategy? What can you tell us? What's the inside scoop?
I'd like to take a minute to thank our sponsor, Sky Blue Credit Repair. Sky Blue's the oldest credit repair company in the country. They have 4.5-star reviews. And my favorite part about the company is that these are just genuinely good people who want to help you repair your credit, have a better financial life and future. Everybody at Sky Blue that you talk to is absolutely interested in helping you repair your credit, see your score go up, and have you enjoy financial freedom and be able to live the life that you really deserve. I know about all of the other credit repair companies. Sky Blue Credit Repair, in my opinion, is the number one credit repair company in the country. There are not better people in that industry than the people over at Sky Blue Credit. Links in the bio. Tell them the GOAT sent you.